We are live. Oh, where did Carl go? Well, we're live, Giants. Welcome. This is the Freedom Hour. I'm Joe Perrone. I'm an entrepreneur and a strategist, and I help business owners, professionals, and everyday people find freedom. And this show is designed to help you find freedom. And we brought on guests that have given us different options of what they know to be freedom. And today on the show, I have Carl Messina, even though he jumped out of the frame, and we're just waiting on him to get back in here. But I'll tell you a little bit about Carl. Carl was first exposed to mnemonics, the science of memory, back in 1989, has trained thousands of students, educators, and business professionals from all walks of life on developing instant recall memory. Mnemonics is a systemized approach to learning whereby students shorten their learning curve while increasing long-term retention of information, as he believes there's no such thing as bad memory, only an untrained memory. And Carl enjoys teaching that to people, and I am excited to have him on the show as soon as he comes back on. Must be a good show. All the shows that the guests jumped off ended up being a great show. So we'll looking forward to having Carl on. As a show reminder, this will be the last show we'll do of the Freedom Hour for the summer. I'm going to be traveling, enjoying some of the time freedom that I have gotten to in my life, and it's exciting, but this will be the last episode until after August. So looking forward to having some time and catch up on some episodes of the Freedom Hour. We have some really good ones. This will be our 13th episode, so look forward to it. So here comes Carl. Carl's back on.
What happened here?
I don't know what happened to you, Carl.
I have no idea.
Carl, I introduced you. The audience is familiar with a quick overview of who you be in the world. And Carl, in addition to all the nice things I said about Carl, I'll give you a few more. Carl's just a gentleman, a great conversationalist. Found him to be just very balanced mind, body, spirit. I love having conversations with Carl, and this is just an extension of one of our conversations. So welcome, Carl.
Thank you, and I want to thank your Uncle Tom. He's like the network king of the area, and just a wonderful human being. You know, he's brought a lot of new people into my life, and it says something about who he is as a person.
It sure does, and we look forward to having Tom Perrone on one of these upcoming episodes of the Freedom Hour. So, absolutely. Carl, I introduced you as you've sent me your bio, and just excited to jump into a conversation with you. And I always ask my guests, and this is where the conversation usually starts. Carl, what is freedom in your definition?
What is freedom? Freedom is to me true joy in your heart, not happiness. Happiness is fleeting. You can create happiness, but in my opinion, when you look at things, you have to have the joy in your heart to be where you are when you're there. And I think you and I talked about this. You know, I had sent you a little text on one of your favorites, good man on Mandino. You know, and it's being happy in life. It's enjoying every single moment. You know, people think about, oh, you know, I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have that. I had all of that, and I lost it. And the funny part about life, when you grow up and you really start to understand the way things are, is number one, it's not about you. It's about what you can put back in this world and leave back. And it's not about your failures in life. What it is about your ability to get back up in life. And the learning, the experiences that you've gone through. And if you've got something good to offer to the world, you put it out there and you do the best you can with what you have to work with. You know, it's life's a funny thing, you know, because sometimes I find incredible amounts of joy when I'm sitting in the middle of a stream fishing for a trout that I can't get. Or watching it, watching the birds. I even talk to the birds when I'm outside, and it's funny because they answer you if you listen good enough. But
Carl, that pure joy that you find in life, we talk about it, we hear about it. It's in books, it's in podcasts, it's all over the place. Why don't more people buy into it, Carl?
Why don't more people buy into it? Because you become what you think about. True. That's
Yeah.
I've stolen that from
it's a good one.
Great thinkers, Napoleon Hill. You become what you think about. And what do you see in this world? Do you see positivity or negativity? My question to you: what do you see?
Oh, I see positivity. I see it all over the place. I see opportunity. Last week we had a good friend of ours, John Cadillac Seville, on here. We talked about having that 30 minutes of gratitude in the morning, and that just seeing the birds, seeing the abundance, seeing just all there is out there, and walking into a beautiful morning with the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and it's not Pollyanna, it's a choice, right?
And
what you're saying is we make a choice every day, and we can make that choice whether to be positive or negative. And so tell me more about how you've got into this mindset, because it is an amazing mindset to have, and I agree with you. Pure joy is one of the best places that you can be, and when you operate out of that energy, there's nothing that could stop you, in my opinion. So tell me more, Carl. Tell me about the journey to get to this enlightened place in your life.
It's been an interesting journey. A lot of ups and downs. Made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, learned a lot of things, and I find that the things that I've been experiencing in life is the more you try to give back to the world, the more the world will give back to you.
And in the same measure.
Yes, it's almost like the reflection that we put out to human beings, because we're nothing more than balls of energy, Joe. We got a positive ball of energy, we got a negative ball of energy. Okay? And if you're around negativity, you're going to get sucked in that. You're going to get sucked into that, whether you want to or not. That's physics. That's not me saying it. That's physics, bro. But the nice thing that we've been given is choice in life. You got to wake up every single day. You got to make the choice. Is it going to be a great day? You're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to say, good God, what a beautiful day. Or you're going to say, oh, God, not another day. I got to go through this. Oh, man. I mean, that's reality. That's, to me, that's reality. And I think it's all based on a value system. You have to look at life, and you have to think about things, just as you do in the morning. And John does. John Seville, Caddy Man, gets up every single morning, and he thinks about what a beautiful day it is, man. You don't go to the television and turn on the TV and all of a sudden say, hey, man, what's going on here? And you hear about this one and that one and this one. There's so much turmoil going on in this world, and all I heard about was Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Are you kidding me? What's your value system? As a human being, what's your value system? And when it's taken away at an early age, or I should say not taken away, but not given at an early age, then that person has to find it on their own. It's like an oak tree.
You and I, Carl, we talked yesterday about money, right? We talked about this myth, the money myth. Let's open that conversation up back up to where we were in our text thread yesterday.
All right,
right?
You start.
Yeah. Well, there's a myth that money will buy happiness, money will make a lot of problems go away. That money, as you would say, is just a means to an end.
Yes, it'll buy surroundings.
And you and I have agreed on that. Money's just a tool, and money will make you more of what you are. If you're a jerk, it's going to make you a bigger jerk.
Agreed,
if you're a giver, money's going to turn you into a philanthropist.
Yeah.
And I love that we went down the road of money, and then we're talking about that joy in life. Where do those things intersect? Where do we get off of that bus, riding that bus of money's going to get me everything I need to? I have all I need right in front of me, and I have this abundant life. And you get the focus off of that one option of money, that one option. That's money's one option,
but
right?
Money is a tool that you can help so many people with. When you have that, if you've got a good heart, man, think about it seriously. So some of these wealthy guys are making more money than the small nations of the world. They can go and they can buy the economics of a nation if they wanted to. They can't take it all with them. So it seems it becomes more about the power than it does the goodness of humanity. And I'm not saying not all, but when you look at it, many entrepreneurs, it's I just see the money that's being thrown out, and then I see the people in the streets with not a pot to drop a coin in. You know what I'm saying? But it is a choice too. It's a choice for that person to want to get up and do something about it.
Yeah, because poverty is a mindset.
Yes.
Just like wealth is a mindset, poverty is a mindset.
Yes. And we have to have people start to become more self-reliant on themselves to increase the value system of what's going on. Even all of this free money, that's being given out. There are things out there that can be done in a community. It's guidance, it's leadership, to start something without thinking about truly what's in it for them. I look at many of I don't want to get into politics, but I look at many of the politicians out there that 1 year they're worth $300,000. 10 years later, they're worth $300 million. It's it just hurts. It just hurts sometimes. And sometimes when you've been low, when you've hit the doldrums, you realize there's no place else to go. And sometimes we need to hit that point in life where you got nowhere else to go, right? What are you going to do? You're going to sit, tuck your tail between your legs? No, not if you believe in the liberty of life.
And that ties into the title of our show. Don't forget your freedom. And I know you're a memory expert, and we'll get into that in a few because that's fascinating to me.
But that's not true. That's not true, Joe. I'm not a memory expert. I'm not. I have the poorest memory in the world. I'm serious. You talk to my family. I got the worst memory in the world, except when I apply the system. If I apply the system, it works. If I don't apply the system, forget about it. It's happening. So I do not have a good memory.
And you train others in a memory system, mnemonics.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll get into that in a minute. But I want to go back to the title of this show, which is Don't Forget Your Freedom. And going back to your definition of freedom, which is that pure joy in life. Where in your opinion do some go wrong where they forget those simple joys in life? They forget that they have options. They rely too heavily on the systems of this planet to get them by versus trusting in the abundance, trusting in something outside of government, something outside of what they could see, having faith, having a belief system. Where do people get trapped in that and give away their freedom?
I believe because they dwell too much on the past and they worry too much about the outcome of the future.
I like that, Carl.
I think that's where the mind gets cluttered. You know, once again, as opposed to living the present and being happy with what you have. And when you have that, it's like when you have that joy in your heart of saying, man, this is not only fun, but I'm excited about how I can change people's lives. You know, that to me is what the essence of life is about. You got to enjoy the moment. Too many times we're thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. I got to do this and I got to do that. And what if it doesn't go this way? And then you start putting that doubt in your mind and you become that doubt. I put people on a 21-day program. I've got a program called the Spirit of Balance, as you know. And what it is, it's a 21-day program that you put people on, that I put people on. I suggest to people to get on there. If you get on it, you get on it. It was usually 20% get on, the old 80-20, the Pareto principle. 20% will say, yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. 80% are going to say, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot someday. And it doesn't happen. That's what I mean about becoming what you think about. We had mentioned that earlier, Joe. And becoming what you think about. That's the freedom of thought. The freedom of thought is not getting so tied up in the emotional content of life that you can't see the forest through the trees.
And as we're not getting wrapped up in this and we're focusing and being in the present, because we can't change. What's true is we can't change anything that happened yesterday. We can't hit the rewind button. We can't hit the rewind button and go back. And if anybody knows about the rewind button, call Carl and I and fill us in, because we're the only two guys that don't know. There's no rewind. And just the same, we can't hit. There's no fast forward button either.
No.
And these aren't just cute sayings on shirts and in the little tchotchke shops, these little wooden signs. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
And I remember, what's true for me is I remember a time when I was rushing through, was looking for the next thing and what's the next thing I create, or going back to the past worries and the things that never even came true. Dale Carnegie, How to Stop Worrying, Start Living. And he talks about those day-tight compartments, which you're talking about. We need to live in today's day and enjoy today's day and live and savor. It's one of my favorite words is savor that moment. Right? Savor it. And we think about a good meal when you just losing track of time and you're savoring that company, savoring the food, savoring the wine. And you're just enjoying that moment. You don't care about your cell phone. You don't care about what's going on in the world. Not that you're indifferent to what's going on in the world. I think that's where people miss it. There's things going on in the world, but for recorded history, there's always been things going on in the world. There's always been injustice. There's always been something to be upset about. And if you're looking for it, by golly, you're gonna find it, right? So
Joe,
it's not
you've gotten it at a young age, my friend. You have,
but it's not being ignorant. It's not being ignorant to what's going on in the world. It's not saying this doesn't exist. It's not saying, okay, it exists.
Yeah.
However, what can I do? And if what I'm seeing, like you said earlier, we both believe this, everything I'm seeing is a reflection of me anyways.
Mirror image.
I better start getting to work on myself.
Yes.
And changing my outlook until the reflection is kindness, joy, giving, all these things. Love. I love. That's my favorite 4-letter words. Love, because that's the only thing that's going to, change all this stuff that's going on the planet that we're seeing is a reflection of the collective energy in this world.
Yeah, the 3 things you just shared were from Fruit of the Spirit. Love, kindness, and joy. That's
right.
Yes.
So, Carl, I have found that at an early age, it took me going to the emergency room at in the middle of a work day because I was chasing all the stuff that didn't matter. And I would love to know more about, where you found this. I know you have, see your posts and we've talked and I know you have a deep spiritual background. Would love to know where you found it. So, because we want the purpose of this hour, we want other people that might hear our words and say, you know what, that's something that I want to latch onto. And I want to get it like Carl does. I want to get it like Joe does. I want to see what they're seeing. I want that reflection to start being like what they're seeing in the world. Tell me your background, Carl.
The way I've been able to come back to it. I lost it for a while. I did. I was like you. I was worrying about next week and tomorrow, and I had this to do and that to do. You've managed to understand that and bring yourself down to a point of true joy in your life, Joe. And been there, done that, and right now it's almost like all I care about is on a daily basis is if I can walk into a Cumberland Farms and put a smile on somebody's face. Picking up some whatever I got to pick up in there. She's got purple hair. Hey man, that's awesome. You think I'd look good in purple hair? And what comes across her face? A nice big smile. You know what that does, Joe? That makes me smile.
And it changes her. It literally changes her composition. She smiles.
Yes.
The energy shifts.
Yes.
At a cellular level, it shifts.
It also helps fuel my enthusiasm for others. It makes me feel so good when I can walk out of some place, and I always try to comment. I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter. It's just about trying to bring. If you can bring joy, think about this. The multitude of equations. If you can think about joy. And every single person, you see 10 people every single day, and you bring joy to their heart. And they do the same thing. Let me ask you a question. You think it'll change the world?
I do. I know it will.
And getting back to mnemonics, memory training. In the program, Spirit of Balance, it came out of Miyamoto Musashi, who was known as the Sword Saint. He was a 16th century samurai, fought over 60 duels by the time he was 30 years old, survived all of them, obviously, and went on to write one of the most famous Japanese books, Go-Rin no Sho, the Book of Five Rings. And the master of the style of martial arts that I was in, Sosai Masu Tatsu Oyama, created a system called Kyokushinkai, and he studied Miyamoto Musashi for 3 years when he trained in the mountains. And that's the only book he was said to have studied, I mean, as legend has it. But he came out of there with 11 models, sentences, full sentences of life, of what he had gotten out of his readings of Miyamoto Musashi. And over the past year, I've been going through them with a very good friend of mine, Teddy Oyama, Teddy and I were kind of consulting on it. I would go over these models, and then I would send him, because less is more in life. So what I wanted to do is take the essence of what he was trying to say and put it into one word, or possibly 2 words at the most. But those 2 words would be conceptual thoughts. The first one is courtesy and respect. Treat everyone with as much courtesy as you would like to be treated with, and respect them for having a difference of opinion. The second one is resilience. Stick-to-itiveness. Have the resilience to see things when things are not that good. Have the ability to see through it. The next one is hope and humility. Have the hope that everything is going to be fine in this world. And have the humility of knowing the world is not about you. Honesty, next. Be honest. Most importantly, be honest with yourself. Did I do the best that I can possibly do at everything that I do? No. Remember when I was a kid, I had shoveled the driveway. I was 5, 6 years old. I had shoveled the driveway. I was all excited because my pops was coming home in his 1968 Volkswagen. And he's coming home and he pulls into the driveway, and I'm standing there real proud with the shovel. My dad looks at me, he says, "It's good." He says, "Let me show you." And he went over and he edged the walk, because I had went like this, and I had like little triangles of life. And he came over and he edged the walk. He says, "Thank you, son. That was a good job you did." But it was just his way of showing me, no matter what you do, try to do it the best that you can for the moment that you're there. So what do we have? What was the next one? Honesty, right? After honesty is fortitude. After fortitude is contemplation, which leads to wisdom. That's number 7. Number 8 is integrity. Have the integrity of allowing your actions to speak more than your words. Number 9 is loyalty. Be loyal to friends and family and people that have good hearts, and know that life is not about you, but being able to give back. And lastly, which I think is probably the most important, is harmony. Have the harmony. And I threw another one in there, courage. Have the courage to live harmoniously. These 11 models deciphered into a couple words of life. And I get up every morning and I review those models. because one of those models will come across my table in that given day. I guarantee it. And how I react to what I've been thinking about in the morning and before I go to bed. And you know how long it takes me to go through those models?
How long, Carl?
About 15 seconds. I know what they mean to me. And I'm like, yeah, courtesy, yeah, yep, absolutely. Hope and humility, you better believe it.
Will you train us how to remember all of those so we could do it in 15 seconds as well? Because I believe that's a great tool, just like John and I were talking about last week. That first 30 minutes, that first 15 minutes, that first 5 minutes when you get up, that's going to be what your day is set up to be.
Yes.
If we could take your example.
Well, I've got something better for. I've got something that I think not better. There is no better, because it's all goodness in life that these proverbial thought processes will give to us. But let me take you through one, and I'm going to give you one that's going to have 9 points to it. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
You got to give me 10 minutes to teach you, though. Fair enough?
Yeah, we're at plenty of time.
And I wish that your son was here, because he would learn it faster than you.
He'll watch the replay. Don't you worry.
I'm serious. Okay. All right. Now, I may do something a little bit. Some of the stuff I'm going to be sharing with you, because I'm going to do it so fast and so rapidly. I want to take you through this, and I want it to click as fast as I possibly can. To do this exercise, let me ask you one question, because I don't know how you learn as of yet. Okay. Are you a visual learner, an auditory learner? Do you learn by hands-on experience? I would assume hands-on experience, because you were the utmost mechanic.
I hands-on and visual.
Hands-on.
I could say almost all three. Sometimes I got to hear it, see it, and do it to really grasp it.
Let me ask you another question. When you learn information, if you had to read a couple pages of what I was going to share with you, or if I told you about it auditorily, which sense would be best for you to learn from?
Auditorily, and if you threw a story in there, even better.
Okay. This is what we're going to do. I want you to close your eyes. Come on, close your eyes. It's not show and tell. Okay. Now I'm going to have you keep your eyes closed. And the reason I'm going to have you keep your eyes closed is because there will be absolutely 100% no distractions. You will create what you want in your mind. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Now, when I ask you a question, I will ask you, when I say repeat, I want you to repeat what I'm saying, so it resonates in your mind auditorily from your voice. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad. Hey, you're catching on. You're a quick study here. All right. 3 things you need to know in order to remember absolutely anything. Say a fig. See a fig tree? You picture a fig tree? Your grandpa fig tree? That fig is going to stand for an acronym, which is going to stand for file, image, and glue. Say it with me. What is it?
File, image, and glue.
Say it again.
File, image, and glue.
Okay, good. The first thing you need to have is a file. A file is nothing more than a storage place for information. True?
True.
Okay, good. The information we're looking to remember, because now what FIG stands for is file, image, glue, which is the systemization for recollection of information. So we first have to have our file, a place to store the information. Any information we are looking to recall, we have got to turn into a what?
Image.
Image, exactly. Now we need glue. The glue is what holds that image into the file for us. The glue is going to consist of us vividly visualizing our file and that image. We have to see that in our mind's eye, kind of like eating a lemon. Take a lemon, you bite into that lemon, and the juices flowing all over. That's how crystal clear I want you to see it. The I stands for imagination, which means if you find a word that you're looking to remember, look for a trigger. Use your imagination to create a trigger. Like if I told you freedom, Joe, what does freedom look like to you? What would you say? If you had to create a visual image.
About an hour before our show, I was pitching the wiffle ball to Marcello, my 3-year-old, and it's today's. I think it's Wednesday afternoon. So that's freedom to me, being out on the front lawn at home, spending time with my son.
Okay, I want a visual image. One image. If I said freedom to you, what's the first thing that pops into your mind?
My son holding a wiffle ball bat, yellow wiffle ball bat.
Yellow wiffle. That would be a symbolic image for you of freedom. To me, freedom is the eagle. I see the eagle at least 2-3 times a week. I'm that fortunate here. That's my symbolic image. Whenever I see an eagle, immediately I'll think of freedom. Some people will use an image such as the American flag. Look out the window. I see that American. That's freedom to me. That is free. That would be their image of the mental trigger. Gabish?
Kabish.
Lastly is action. When we have to join the information together, you have to bring a lot of hard action. And the more comical, the more funny it is, the more ludicrous, nonsensical, the more you're going to remember it. It's kind of like remembering the punchline to a joke. Hey, Joe, I got this great joke. Oh, damn, I forgot the joke. But this is the way the punchline goes, right? You wind up remembering that. That's because of the emotional content. Could you fabricate emotion, Joe? Say yes. That's a loaded question. Yes. All the movies we see are fabricated emotion. Okay, good. Now we got the 3 things. We got a file, which is the place we're going to store the information. The information we're looking to remember has got to be turned into an image. After we turn it into an image, we have to glue it. File, image, glue. The glue consists of us vividly visualizing both our file and the image, taking a lot of hard action and funny action and using a tremendous amount of human emotion to tie those 2 pieces of information together. And then we have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. Now, this is going to be a 10-file system that I'm going to give you. Say 10 files. Say it.
10 files.
Okay, good. Say 10 files. Say it again.
10 files.
Okay, good. Now, what I want you to do is take your left hand, rub your stomach, take your right hand, pat yourself on the top of the head. Come on. Very good. I just wanted to see if you can do it. I just want to see if you're paying attention. No reason for it, Joe. Okay. All right. Now, this is what we're going to do. 10-file system. Say body list.
Body list.
Say body list.
Body list.
Okay. 1 is toes. Say toes.
Toes.
Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes. Say toes.
Toes.
Okay, good. 2 is your knees. Pat your knees and say knees.
Knees.
Knees. Good. What's 2?
Knees.
Good. What's 1?
Toes.
Good. What's 1?
Toes.
Very good. 3 is muscle. Pat your muscle, the inside of your thigh. It's your muscle. Say muscle.
Muscle.
Okay, good. 4 is your rear. Pat your rear and say rear.
Rear.
Good. What's 3?
Muscle.
Very good. What's 2?
Knees.
What's 1?
Toes.
Good. What's 2?
Knees.
3?
Muscle.
Good. 4. 4
rear.
is what? Excellent. Okay, take your fists and pound your chest. And fist is lung, or 5 is lungs. Say lungs.
Lungs.
Good. Say lungs.
Lungs.
Good. Excellent. That's your 5th file. Now notice, this is a 10-file body list. Your 5th file is located in the midpoint of your body. So strategically, all files from 5 down are below your body. 6 to 10 will be above your body. Okay, good. So what's 1?
Toes.
2.
Knees.
3.
Muscle.
4.
Rear.
5.
Lungs.
6. Shoulders. Say shoulders.
Shoulders.
Now pat your shoulders like you got 2 shoulder pads, and you're going. That's it. Pat your shoulder. You got 2 shoulders. So what's 6?
Shoulders.
Good. 7. Grab your collar and rub your collar. Say collar.
Collar.
Collar. So what's 6?
Shoulders.
Good. What's 7?
Collar.
Good. Now take your whole hand and cover your face and say 8 is face. Say it.
8
is
8 is face.
Good. 8 is face. Say it again.
8 is face.
Good. 9 on top of your head. Take your fingers, point on top of your head, and 9 is point. Say point. So you're pointing to the top of your head. Point. Good.
Point.
Good. Now 10 is the only file off the body. I want you to turn your head, look up in the air, and say ceiling. Ceiling. Okay, let's go backwards. 10 is what?
Ceiling.
9.
Point.
8.
Face.
7.
Collar.
6.
Shoulders.
5.
Lungs.
4.
Rear.
3.
Muscle.
2.
Knees.
1.
Toes.
Okay, good. Now, I want you to see your toes. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes. I want you to see all these little hearts. You're painting all of these hearts, or you're stepping on top of these cushion hearts, and you're painting your toenails. And what are you putting on your toenails? What are you making?
Hearts.
Say hearts.
Hearts.
Say, see it. You
Hearts.
see it, Joe? You see it, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Go to your knees. Go to your knees. Okay, I want you to see on your knees. Rub your knees, and I want you to be rubbing Joy dishwashing detergent. So what are you rubbing into your knees?
Joy dishwashing detergent.
Good. Now what's on your toes?
Hearts.
Hearts. Excellent. Okay. I want you to see a peace sign, a branding iron. You have a branding iron, and it's hot. And you forgot it was hot. You were branding some leather. You wanted to make some leather peace signs. So you forgot it was hot, and you put it on to rest on your muscle, and you branded a peace sign. Oh, you feel that? Can you feel that, Joe?
Yeah.
Did it hurt? Okay, good. What's on your knees?
Knees, I got Joy dishwashing soap.
What's on your toes?
Hearts.
Excellent. Okay, what's your 4th file?
4th file is rear.
Hey, you just got out of the hospital. Not for nothing serious, but you got out of the hospital. You had one of those gurneys, because you were a patient. You were a patient at the hospital. So I want you to see the gurney. Because why? Because you're a what at the hospital?
What's that?
You're a patient at the hospital, right?
Patient.
That's the key trigger word I want you to remember. Patient. You're a patient at the hospital. Good. What's on your knees?
Joy dishwashing soap.
What's on your muscle?
Branding iron. Peace.
Excellent. What's on your toes?
Hearts.
Good. What's on your rear?
Patient.
Excellent.
Patient.
5. Go to your lungs. You're beating your lungs, and I want you to see you're beating your lungs full of cans with cayenne pepper in it. Okay? You're beating your lungs with the cans, and you're putting them actually into a nest, a huge bird's nest. So the key trigger words I want you to remember are cans and nest. And it's cayenne pepper in the cans, okay? So what's in the cans?
Cayenne pepper.
Good. Go to your shoulders. Pat your shoulders. Hey, did you ever eat those Good and Plenty? Those Good and Plenty candies?
Yeah.
Remember the old Good and Plenty candy? I want you to see a huge nest. You got these 2 nests, and you're filling them full of Good and Plenty. Okay, so what are you putting inside of the nests?
Good and plenty.
Good. What's on the nest on your chest, on your lungs?
Is cans of cayenne pepper.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Now I want you to go to your 7th file, which is your collar. You see your collar?
Yeah.
Okay. On your collar, I want you to put a cross. You've got a collar, a collar of a priest, like a priest collar that you're putting on, and it's in the word I want you to remember is faith. Faith. And you're stuffing because the collar's a little bit too big, so you're stuffing another nest down inside of there. You're putting another nest inside of the collar. Okay, that's your collar of faith. That's your collar of what?
Faith.
Faith. Good. Now I want you to look at your face. Go to your 8th file on your face. Okay. Wools, lamb's wool. I love lamb's wool. Lamb's wool. I want you to take the lamb's wool, and it's so gentle. The gentleness. Feel the gentleness of the lamb's wool being rubbed all over your face. What's your ninth file?
Point.
Point. That's right. In your ninth file, I want you to see a huge shelf. You have a huge shelf, and on top of the shelf, you're stabilizing it on top of your point because you're putting all kinds of controls on there. Okay, you got all these controls on there. Okay, good. Okay, let's go through it. What's number one?
Toes.
What's number two?
Knees.
That's good, but that's your file. What did you put on number one?
Oh, number one, hearts.
Excellent. What did you put on number two?
Joy.
Very good. What did you put on number 9?
Number 9 is controls.
Yup. That what was it? It was remember the what? What was under
Shelf.
the control? Shelf. Excellent. What did you put on number 8?
Lamb's wool, soft.
Excellent. But the word I was looking for was real what?
Soft. Gentle.
Gentle, yes, real gentle. It's great for the whiskers, bro. All right. What's your 7th file?
7th file is the collar.
Excellent. Now, what was it on
Faith.
the file? Faith. That's right. Faith. Excellent. How about 6?
6 is the shoulders.
Yep. What did you put on the shoulders?
The shoulders.
What was it? What was that nest full of?
Good and plenty. Good and plenty.
Excellent. And what's on your chest? Your lungs.
The long cayenne pepper with in the can.
Excellent. Fantastic. Hey, guess what, Joe? You just got all 9 of them. You can open your eyes. You know what that was? That was fruit of the spirit. That was fruit of the spirit. Let's go through fruit of the spirit. What's the first one?
Love.
What's the second one?
Joy.
What's the third one?
Patience.
No, that's number 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Peace.
Excellent. And then we have 4. Patience. What's number 5?
5 is the cayenne pepper. The
look for the word. What was a cayenne pepper in?
Cans.
Cans on a what?
A nest.
Can nest kind of sounds like
Kindness.
Oh, what do we have on our shoulders?
Good and plenty.
Goodness.
Goodness.
Hey, what's happening here? Hey, wait a minute. What do we have over here?
Gentle. Gentleness.
And lastly,
the shelf.
What
the control? Self-control.
Hey, you got it. You were a quick study, my friend. That's what mnemonics is all about. Just taking a system. And I was fortunate enough to be introduced to systemology, which now I get to introduce a systemized approach for businesses. And it just excites me because I am giving back. I'm giving back freedom to people that they never thought existed. And, like this, nothing makes me happier than to see the smile you got on your face because you probably thought something you didn't know. And I'll show you what you actually learned. You actually learned forwards, backwards, in and out of order, 19 items. Because if I said, what's your 7th file, what would you say?
7th file is collar. Faith.
Yes. Excellent. If I said, what's your 3rd file, what would you say?
Peace. Muscle. Peace.
Muscle is your 3rd file. Make sure you understand the distinctions. File, image, glue. File is our list. That's our file list. Don't ever forget that file list. That file list is a permanent body list that you can use as a daily things to do list. You can use it for all different kinds of lists. Just a trigger for you. 90% you're not going to get. You know how we were talking about, remember, kindness with the king. 90% of the time, I don't know what kind of looks like other than a feeling, but you have to create some kind of an image. So you look to create an image out of what you're looking to remember with triggers. It's like the name retention. You ever forget someone's name and you say, "Oh no, wait a minute. A, let me go through the alphabet. A, Alfred, B, Bob, da. And then you wind up leaving, and you just didn't get to Z because his name was, or X, his name was Xavier, right?" So, in life, you have something called natural aptitude for retention of information. That's what natural aptitude is. It's your ability to only need a trigger to, oh yeah, boom. So it's a great system. You can use it every single day. Your audience out there can use it every single day. And just, if you don't use it, it's not going to work. That's why I'm good at it. Because if I don't use it, I forget everything. So that just goes to show you that it works. If a guy like me can learn this and understand it, anybody can learn it. And kids are faster at it than adults because they don't preconceive the notion of what learning is all about. You mean I can learn and I can laugh and you can make me, yeah. Hey man, that's exciting. It's awesome for kids. Matter of fact, I love to work with your boy at this age now. He's 7, right?
Yeah, 7. He would love it. He would love it.
Yeah.
Well, Carl, we're on the Wake Up with Giants network, and the Nick and Ryan have a beautiful book, Giants in the Smalls. It's a children's book. So I know that children and the education of kids and bringing them up in the world is very important to them. So I hope this network, the Wake Up with Giants network, will get Carl out and maybe get you on a class with some kids. Let's teach some kids this stuff. They're not teaching this stuff in schools, Carl.
That's my passion. I had my son when he was in 3rd grade. I taught him the Quadratic Formula, and took me about maybe 5-6 minutes to teach it to him. And I've asked kids before, do you know what the Quadratic Formula is?
I don't know the Quadratic Formula. We got 5 minutes. You want to teach it to me?
Yeah, I could. I could actually take me 3 minutes, but I want to finish the story because I think you'll get a kick out of this. I told him, I said, CJ, I'm going to teach you the Quadratic Formula. It's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There's 15 components in it. So I taught it to him in about 5 minutes, and I told him, I want you to go to your teacher and put it up on the blackboard for your teacher, which he did. He put it up on the black because I told him, I says, tell your teacher first, gee, I know the Quadratic Formula. And then she's going to challenge you some, which she did. And she says, would you like to put it up on the blackboard? So he said, sure. So he went up there, he put it up on the blackboard. You know what she had to do? She had to go out of the room and go get the 5th grade teacher to verify the formula because she didn't know it. And you know something else? He got it right. And I've had teachers challenge me and say, well, what good is it for him to remember how to apply, how to remember the formula if he first can't apply it? So my question to her was, how can somebody ever learn how to apply something if they first can't remember it? That's why this 21-day fruit of the spirit, the same thing. People can use this fruit of the spirit every single day, and they're going to come across it. So with that, enough said. Thank you so much, Joe.
It was my honor, pleasure. Love you too, brother. You're one of those people that I just love connecting with, love having conversations with, because these are the conversations that are going on that more people need to know about. This world is not doom and gloom. It's positive. It's uplifting. There's so many great people out there. Carl, you're one of them. And Carl, how can people get in touch with you? Because I'm sure they want to learn more.
They can go to carlmessina.com, or they can go to my company, positiveimpactlife.com. Positiveimpactlife.com.
Carl, once again,
watch me there and see what happens, Joe.
Connect with Carl. I mean, you've seen what he's all about. You've seen who he is in the world, and this is a really just a great hour. Thank you, Carl, for being on the Freedom Hour. And yeah, just love who you are, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. God blessings.
And Giants, this was another episode of the Freedom Hour. And, subscribe to this network. There's a lot of great people on the network, the great shows. And this is what it's designed to do, is uplift, empower, and help you see the positivity in this world. And that's what we're all here for. So with that, we'll see you next time on the Freedom Hour.
Thank you, Joe.